Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Pro Wrestling Chat. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen. This week we are talking about Ash by Elegance. And the Elegance Brand in TNA Wrestling. Which NXT just had its big event called Heatwave, which featured Jacey Jayne, who at the time was currently the TNA Knockouts champion, as well as being the NXT Women's Champion for WWE. So there was a big three-way match featuring Masha Slamovich, who was formerly the TNA Knockouts champion, and Ash by Elegance, who you all know is formerly Dana Brooke in the WWE. And she used to be on NXT back in the day, you know. So it's great to see her come back on NXT. The Elegance Brand did have a match too on NXT, and that was pretty cool. So I've talked about the whole working relationship between WWE, NXT, and TNA, and how it's kind of had its ups and downs. Overall, I do think it has been good for TNA publicity-wise, and, you know, it's great exposure for TNA, of course. And we've seen the Knockouts Championship prominently featured on the channel. You know, I have said how I felt like at times it seems a little one-sided towards the WWE's end, you know. It feels like to me sometimes that the TNA talent has gotten the short end of the stick. They never seem to get a big win against an NXT superstar. Not too often, especially when it's for a championship. And I talked about Slammiversary, how I was very disappointed in the results. You know, we lost our two biggest championships to WWE talent, and that was very disappointing, you know. You know, I thought we'd at least get, like, the Men's World Championship back, you know, from Trick Williams, but we didn't, you know. He still won. And we lost the TNA Knockouts Championship. But all is well, because on NXT Heatwave, Ash by Elegance took the TNA Knockouts Championship back to TNA. So this Thursday they're going to have a big celebration, I guess, on Impact, and I can't wait for that. So now, the Elegance Brand, that being M by Elegance, Heather by Elegance, and of course, the leader Ash by Elegance, and the personal concierge George Iceman. Now they have all the gold, which is so cool, right? They got the TNA Knockouts World Championship and the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. So, man, they're going to be running roughshod all over TNA Wrestling because they got all the gold. And I'm sure they're going to really gloat about it. But I must say, I love the Elegance Brand. I think they're a great team. They have great tag team chemistry in the ring. And I feel like Ash has really stepped it up in the ring as well. She had a great match there on NXT Heatwave against Masha and Jacey Jayne. Really good match. And of course we saw a lot of outside interference with Jacey's team, Fatal Influence, and of course the Elegance Brand was outside the ring as well. And they played a significant role in getting Ash to the TNA Knockouts Championship. But whatever, we got the Knockouts Championship back in TNA, and we saw the TNA president, Carlos Silva, you know, congratulate her, and everything online saying how proud everyone is of Ash bringing the title back to TNA, and it's great. And in this little vignette they did, she called herself the Savior. So I love that. I love the confidence, you know. I am the Savior of TNA Wrestling. I brought the championship back. I want to see more of that on Impact. I love that. She makes a great heel, and they're a wonderful team. They might be my favorite faction in TNA as far as the women goes. Even better than the Beautiful People. I think the Beautiful People was probably my favorite women's faction in TNA, but I think the Elegance Brand has them beat, you know. I think they're just a blast. I think they're so much fun, but at the same time, they got the ring skills. They got the talent to back it up. So, congratulations to Ash by Elegance on winning the TNA Knockouts World Championship and bringing it back to TNA, and I can't wait to see what comes of this. We still got a little while before Bound for Glory, which is the biggest event of the year for TNA, and that's their final big pay-per-view of the year, usually. And that's going to be great, and that's going to be in Lowell, Massachusetts, which is the same place they had NXT Heatwave in Lowell, Mass, too. So that's going to be great to see, and I'm curious as to what's going to happen with the Ash, or who she's going to take on at Bound for Glory. Is it going to be Masha Slamovich, or, you know, a case could be made for Jacey Jayne to get a rematch because she was not the one pinned. Ash pinned Masha Slamovich to win that three-way dance, and not Jacey Jayne. So Jacey could come back and say, "Hey, I want a rematch," you know, and we could see another triple threat like rematch, you know, with Masha and or it could just be Jacey and Ash. I would like to see that, but I don't want to see that title leaving TNA again. So, you know, that is a conundrum, isn't it? Like, in some ways, I think maybe I don't want to see that rematch because I don't want to see the championship going back to NXT again. Screw that. We need it here in TNA. But at any rate, definitely congratulations to the Elegance Brand, bringing all the gold to TNA and just ruling the women's division. I love it. So thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, the Pro Wrestling Chat. Tune in and lock up.